Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Monday, March 31st. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the senior minister here at Sunshine Cathedral. With me today is Bishop Robert Griffin, our executive minister and my husband, Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, Minister of Connections, and Reverend Kevin Tisdall, Minister of Education. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about our progressive faith community and how you can be a part of it no matter where you live in the world. If you live in South Florida, be sure to check out the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, offering entertainment for the LGBTQ+ community to benefit the LGBTQ+ community. Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There's no streaming TV show like this in the entire world. In 2025, we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots Magazine, the 5th anniversary of Queer News Tonight, with nearly 10,000 stories and 10 million views in 2024. We'll produce the 25th anniversary of Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th, Pride Fest Diversity Pride in August, and Pride Fort Lauderdale next February. Hotspots Happening Out is the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. If you enjoy the Queer God Squad, please share this or other episodes with your friends, family, and social media communities.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. Trump posts anti-gay Nazi symbol raising alarms over queer rights. Earlier this month, Donald Trump reposted an article to his Truth Social account with the image of a pink triangle, a symbol used by the Nazis in World War II to identify gay men in concentration camps. The triangle in the article Trump posted was overlaid with a red circle and a line through it, suggesting, quote, gays not allowed, end quote. Titled, quote, Army recruitment ads look quite different under Trump, end quote. The story praised Trump and his Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth for reinforcing the military on lethality. It mentions that ads that promoted pride for LGBTQ service members under the Biden administration have been canceled. Does this image present a scary future for LGBTQ service members? There's already been a purge of transgender service personnel. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is against LGBTQ inclusion in the military and has criticized the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. This is all seemingly on brand for Trump 2.0. Gender-affirming care for trans children banned. Only binary definitions of gender allowed. The end of the federal government recognizing trans people. The interfering with school curricula to whitewash history. Yeah, a Nazi symbol for this administration isn't far off base, if at all. During the Holocaust, up to 15,000 gay men were taken to concentration camps where most of them perished. The pink triangle symbol was later reclaimed by the queer community, and particularly during the AIDS epidemic when it was changed to face upward for the Silence Equal Death project. This is the first time Trump or one of his associates has aligned himself with Nazi imagery. Let us not forget that Elon Musk did a Nazi salute during a Trump rally. It is all quite disturbing, as the Queer God Squad will now discuss. Sometimes I just want to take a hand grenade and just throw it right in here. It's like, you know what? Just be done with it. It is too broken to fix. And other times I look at this and say, you know what? We have to do this. We have to fight for the rights of people. We have to fight for the rights of those who cannot fight for themselves. We have to be the voice for those who cannot speak up for themselves, because all the things that this current administration has done to remove, to hamper, to isolate, to take away from people who are in the margins are the primary reason we have to lend our voices to this fight. Because if we don't do it, then no one else will. And of course, these images, I don't think are not by happen chance that he's using. They all point back to a particular point in time in history that I think if he could bring that particular point in time back to 2025 in a heartbeat, he would. But that's not how this works. And how this does work is by the fact that as America, we the people can stand up against everything that they're wanting to bring back and represent. And I'm just mostly mortified, just horrified by all the things that he has done already. and that he has gotten away with, and that people seemingly are not holding him accountable for, around all the banning of transgender people in the military, all the healthcare issues that have been removed, everything down to even most recently removing some needed programs to even help feed people. This is not an administration that is for the people. This is an administration that's about one person and one person only, and about his little circle of friends who only want to get richer and richer, and none of that is going to trickle down to benefit anybody.
No.
So I think as we look at how this is beyond alarm raising. This is a call to action that we have to fight back against this type of behavior.
Yep.
And you know, I have $17 billion. Am I even going to notice if I have 20? You know what I mean? So this isn't about money.
No.
This is not. This is about power.
Yeah, always.
This is about power. You know, we're never threatened that Oprah has a lot of money because we see what she's doing with it.
Right.
She's doing good stuff with it. We're not threatened by Oprah. So it's not about the money. This is about white people are 15 years from being the minority in this country. And this is about a very racist country having a mental breakdown about realizing that you have had the power of the majority since day one, and the clock is ticking, and they're trying to solidify their power so that this can be 1980s South Africa, where the minority can still have all the power. That's what's happening. Please don't get it twisted. And they're using everything that they can. People's apathy, well, it's not going to affect me. That's almost always wrong, by the way. People always say, this isn't going to affect me. That's almost always wrong. Just because you weren't the first or second group to be affected, just because you weren't the main one targeted, but we're all connected. There's no such thing as we're only going to hurt your neighbor. If your neighbor's house catches on fire, your clothes are going to smell like smoke. I mean, there's no such thing as being separate, right? But this is a power grab. This is about restructuring our country so that in 15 years, people who look like me will still have more privilege than they've earned. Now, money helps with that, but honestly, if you have in the billions, you have plenty. Like, you have all the money you need to go to space or whatever. You've got all the money. So it's not. So once you're a multi-billionaire, it really is just about power. If you're not giving it away to help people, what you're doing is solidifying power, and that's what is happening now. I saw very recently that Germany has put the U.S. on a no-travel list for trans people. Germany's just telling their trans people, don't go.
Yeah.
They might not let you in anyway. And once you get there, God knows what will happen. They're telling trans people, don't go to the U.S.
Yeah.
That's where we are. That's about power. That's about racism. That's about, and yes, there's misogyny and there's homophobia, because if you acknowledge the rights of any minority group, and minority isn't about numbers, it's about power and privilege too. It's like there's more women in the world, but somehow they may as well be gay or black, because same thing. That's a lot of people, and so those that we can't manipulate their thinking will just limit their freedoms. That this is so-called a free country, and yet women do not own their bodies anymore. And that's another thing, that citizens can have their rights taken away. Citizens have rights one day and maybe not the next. And legal residents used to, during their stay, be afforded almost the same level of as a citizen. And yet, again, very recently, a Lebanese scholar, she's here because she's one of those brightest and best that we want in our country. We mean from Europe, though. Because she is a medical doctor, a researcher at Brown University, an Ivy League university, with a current visa good through 2027, and with no notice, was sent back to Lebanon. No notice. She has a valid visa, a valid work visa. She is an MD. She is working at an Ivy League institution, but she wears a scarf around her head. And she has to go. And the court said, you can't do that. You have to at least give her 48 hours, but she was already on a plane to Paris, and so they couldn't undo it. And so that's where we are. That's not about billionaires having extra coins. That's about power. That's about solidifying power. This is about white people know that they are going to be a minority very soon, because everyone else collectively, all the other minorities collectively, are going to outnumber them. So if they can sow division amongst the minorities and solidify power for themselves, then they'll be okay. And that's I promise that's what this is about. This is using class and using race and using xenophobia, all to solidify the power of an elite class.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm with you, Bishop Robert. It's very disturbing, and it is a call to action. We gotta do something. People gotta stand up and speak out and make stuff happen. Because if you're not bothered by this, you might want to check yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You might want to check yourself. And if you think that they're not going to come for you in some way, you are wrong.
Ask Midwestern farmers right now.
Uh-huh.
They thought they were safe.
Well,
they were
yeah,
one of the first ones to suffer.
Uh-huh.
Ask Latino Republicans. They thought they're
Yep.
like group number 2 or 3. Yeah, there's no safe,
No, there isn't.
No.
Your
There is no
silence
safe.
will not protect you.
and they're afraid of being outnumbered, as if they think minorities in this country don't get a fair shake.
Yeah. Yep.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. Because everything that we're talking about around this table are things that we can hopefully do something about. The only way to do something about it is to speak up about
Yeah.
it, write up about it. I grew up in a time when nonviolent protests were the vogue. I can't tell you the number of times that I stood in a protest rally cheering on the people who were doing the work to fix the government. I can tell you that I wasn't sure whether or not what I was doing had any effect, but then I would go home and look on the television and see that I wasn't alone, that
Yeah.
other people were seeing it, that other people were doing things. And that's how change used to be made in this country, and that's how change has to start being made in this country again. Steve Bannon, long time ago, said, what we need to do is throw as much as we can at the American people as fast as we can, and then see what sticks. And if this government isn't doing just that, I don't know what they're doing. Then I wake up and I look at the television, and the President of the United States of America is doing a Tesla ad on the lawn of the White House. This goes back to what Bishop Watkins is saying, that it's not about anything other than power and money. Tesla gave Trump, and this was documented, the written ad thing for him to read, and Trump read it. Now, there's where the power is. That's what's going on in this country. A multi-billionaire is destroying everything that we have in order for him to get more.
It had everything
Immigrants.
but the windsock.
Our
They were saying, come on
Our
down.
space program, it's not working. I need to run it. Our FAA, the computers that they're buying, they're no good. You have to buy from me. Are we that friggin' stupid? I hope
Apparently.
not. I
Apparently.
hope not.
I think so, though.
Just be mindful that's the immigrant who's doing this.
And the South African,
There's
South
that.
African immigrant. So, however you line this up, we're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
by being in the thick of it, it really is that reminder we have to do something about it. And this call to action to speak out against these things, to be I'm just mindful of our queer young people,
Yeah.
who they grew up in a time when it was somewhat okay to be gay.
Yeah.
On Obama,
was treatable.
it was.
Marriage
Marriage
was
equality.
equal, at least in many states, and then eventually every state.
And so they grew up at a time when it was getting better.
Don't even know what a sodomy law is.
And now they're like, well, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And so those are the ones I'm really concerned about. So how do we really protect our younglings and help them fortify what they need to know?
The racist and the homophobic and the transphobic and the misogynistic and the xenophobic and the classist. These used to be dog whistles. Like you knew what they were saying if you were paying attention. The bad guys knew, and then the woke people knew, and then other people just washed over them, whatever. We're done with dog whistles. It is now alpine yodeling. It's all out there,
Yeah.
and that people aren't disgusted by that.
Yeah.
Makes me both afraid and ashamed.
Yeah.
Yep.
We should be disgusted. We should be horrified. We should be embarrassed. We should want to do better. And this is a terrible indictment of evangelical Christianity.
How?
Because the evangelical Christian witness is, not talking about the Catholics, not talking about Jews, not talking about Buddhists, the evangelical Christian, and I love me some religion. Guess what I do for a living? I love it. But the evangelical, That's not my wing of the party. The evangelical Christian witness is that you invite Jesus into your life and Jesus radically changes you. If all these people got Jesus going on in them, in their consciousness, in their mind, in their heart, in their lives, and all of this hatred and greed and avarice and misogyny and mendacity and racism, either Jesus has changed you for the worse, or that Jesus changed business was a lie, or you bringing him into your life was a lie. Something is broken.
Yeah.
But for the evangelical witness to be, do it my way, worship our guy, and you're going to be a better person. And this is the worst I remember our country being, and it's under the dominance of evangelical Christianity. Not only have you fucked up the country, you've really made your religion look really bad. Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, we want to invite you to join Sunshine Cathedral on a wonderful travel experience and help our mission for our community. Join us on the Florida AIDS Walk Pride Cruise. This unique 3-day cruise will sail from Miami on the $1 billion and ultra-deluxe 170,000-ton MSC Seascape on November 2nd, 2025. The cruise is for the Florida AIDS Walk. Your participation helps 13 vital beneficiaries in our community. The cruise is an incredible value starting at just $199 and is also a fundraiser for the Sunshine Cathedral. Parties, special events, and more aboard, including a special unlimited beverage and open bar with Wi-Fi for all 3 days for just $68. We invite you to join us on this amazing cruise for fun, this vital cruise for good.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that. We all are in this together.
And also remember that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.